Whoa, bit. Damn, why am I always getting squirted with mother
What'd you get squirted with?
power steering fluid? That's leaking. Oh, bit. Damn, why am I fossil fuel?
So, as you can see, we removed all the air conditioner and heating stuff. It's got to come out on the S10s if you want to run anything besides an 18 with a low pro tire, like a rubber band on it, because the wheel would get into it. So there is a way where you can cut this up, put a fan in there so you can at least have heat and defrost. But youngster was saying his truck
Never worked anyway.
yeah, crap never worked anyway. So we're gonna try to figure out a way to rig him up some at least defrost for the winter time. But this thing isn't gonna be any kind of daily driver. It will be built to be able to daily drive, but
That was for a fender, big dog.
huh?
That was for a fender.
Inner fender, that's got to come out anyway.
Oh,
Tire goes all up in here.
so we have to massage that?
Yeah, massage. We're done.
Just stuff these.
Okay, maybe right in there. It's almost, look at that. It's almost built for it.
Putting stuff where Chevy didn't intend to put
Truck's
it.
never gonna run again. Yeah. So yeah, once we get the wheels and tires, once you get the tires and the spacers, then we can figure out what we got to do here. All right, so we got the gas tank out. So what we need to do now, since since we screwed this up a little bit originally, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take a measurement and make sure that our rear end is centered. So initially what we're gonna do is we're gonna measure the center of the rear end to this body mount. They should be in the same position on both sides and everything. So we're gonna measure that out, make sure we have that measurement, and then we're gonna measure from the C-notch part of the frame to the back side of the brake booster, so we can make sure our rear end, when we put it back in, is right going this way. We have it set. We have the rear end set at half travel, or what we called half travel on this truck, because
Two links are useless. Don't use them.
yes. So a 2-link, you can imagine, this is a 2-link bar, okay? This is a 2-link bar. This is your wheel. Your wheel is, you bolt it to this end of your 2-link, okay? So it's static mount. You only have an adjustment here. So as you go up, your wheel is going to get closer to this side of your truck, to the front of your truck. As you go this way, it's going to do the same thing. So it's in a big circular deal. So this is going to be at its furthest point, then it starts pulling away. Got it? With a 4-link, it is not static. So as it goes up, this stays and rolls. Anyway, we'll get into that. But so right now, if we raise the truck up and it starts doing this, you can look at where it's centered up right now on the C-notch. It starts to pull away from the C-notch. So we got it at half travel where we're centering the C-notch to take our measurements.
Alright, so both sides, from center of the axle to the center of this mount, is 8 inches.
Center there to so center of the axle to the first
Bed mount.
bed mount. Got to make sure my illustration's on point. You know what I'm saying?
Dr. Seuss.
Got to make sure it's a good old SloNoma cab.
You draw like Ray Charles.
Fool. That's a SloNoma cab.
Is that it? Looks like an obtuse triangle.
Spell obtuse, motherfucker.
I didn't finish high school.
So good at drawing.
Looks like an obtuse triangle.
Alright, so
We'll go by these measurements.
the wonderful world of mini trucking by our expert hands and expert measuring that from here to the center of here is 8 inches on both sides. From here to here is 3 3/4.
And then on this one it's 3.
3 5/8. We make up the difference. Boom, we're in the center. So technically, if we run that, when we put this rear end back out, pull this rear end out, if we set it back at that, we should be good. Now, to know this for certain, our good friend, Mr. Terry Bonin, has an extended cab square body S10.
Same frame.
Same frame. So what we will be doing, we're going over there Saturday what are we going over there Saturday? We're going to be shooting a What's Under Your Carport segment at his house. You'll probably see that video before you see this video, so we're going to be doing some time traveling. Anyway, we're going to go take a measurement off that S10, square body S10, and see if the center is close. I could also go online and look and see what the center from the actual wheelbase is, which I might do, so we can check that too. We will check and double check before we rip this rear end out. We need to rip the rear end out because we've got to reset our pinion angle. Everything that's welded to this rear end has got to be cut off and cleaned. We actually, let me go on this other side, it's a little cleaner. We need to, these hangers have got to move. The factory one, which is bolts in like 2 inches this way, has to be moved, I think 8.5 inches back for the Thorbeck kit. So we have to cut this off, and all the crap we had to do to get this mounted in, we got to cut all that off so we can put our new hangers in. We've got to cut those bag brackets off. Got to get all that cut off so we can install the new diff bracket, new cross member and all that. This is all coming out. This is coming out. So I normally don't like pulling rear ends out. I will set them at half travel, or if it's been lowered, and I will weld a U-bolt to the frame to set it with the pinion angle and all that, especially if you're going 3-link. So if you go 3-link or 4-link, your pinion angle doesn't really change. Well, it shouldn't change at all as you go up and down. Now, depending on the size of wheels, things like that, how much of an angle you're going to put your drive shaft in, you may have to, if you have a carrier bearing, you may have to raise your carrier bearing, or you can adjust your pinion angle a little bit. What's good about the Thorbeck kit is your lower bars, they're adjustable on one end. So what that allows you to do is once you set your pinion angle, you have some adjustability back and forth. So that helps you if you need to adjust it. We're going to get this one in. We're going to dial it in and get it right the first time, so we never have to worry about this again. We have to pull this one out. Normally, like I say, I would weld them in, run with that pinion angle. My OBS that I bagged, my buddy Digger, his NBS, and Sid, who is our editor for these videos, when I did their trucks and my truck, they were all lowered like 5.7 or 4.6 drops. So before I undone the rear end to put in the infamous 3 links, what I did was weld U-bolts around the rear end, welded them to the frame. That way the pinion angle, which worked at lower, where it was lowered, that's pretty much half travel. So you got 7 inches of travel with the bag. So that'd be half travel where it was lowered. Pretty close to it. So that pinion angle and everything worked. I know on both of the NBSs, they are 2-piece drive shafts. So when you rode completely laid, I mean like almost all the way laid out, there was a little vibration. Raise the carrier bearing up 3/4 of an inch, boom, you're done. Or I could have adjusted the pinion angle. Infamous kit, it is not adjustable. So once you set the pinion angle, it's set. My OBS is a single drive shaft, so I didn't have those problems. The first time I did Digger's NBS was the first time I did an NBS. His didn't have a shake to it. It didn't have a vibration to it. Sid's did. They're the same truck, same color, same year, same size tires, same wheels, tire. I mean, they're almost identical trucks. Sid's had a little bit of a vibration, so I raised the carrier bearing. Took care of the problem. Probably have to do the same thing here since we're going on 20s. But what I will do...
This carrier bearing's already raised.
This one is? Oh, yeah, that's right. We raised this carrier bearing. Okay, cool. This carrier bearing's already raised.
Yeah, because the mount's welded in on the frame and everything.
That's right. So what I'll do with this one is before we weld in the bottom tabs, we will tack them in and we will cycle this suspension, and I will check and see the angle of everything, make sure that the pinion angle and the drive shaft angle are within, I want to say, I'm going to do
3 to 5 degrees.
Huh?
3 to 5 degrees.
Yeah, I think 3...
Or 2 to...
No,
2 to 4.
it's I know 3 is a magic number for sure. It might be 3 to 5 degrees that it can move your pinion angle and your rear drive shaft, and you'll be fine. Puddin's Fab Shop, which is what I'm going to watch tonight, he does a perfect, explains it to the T. I watched it. I'm going to rewatch it again tonight, and to make sure that I understand his math, and I'm going to do it right. One day,
this thing will roll down the road.
This thing might roll down the road again. Now, it might be being pushed.
Hey, shh.
We don't know.
Quit talking like that.
If this 2.2 doesn't run, when we go back in, we're yanking it out, and we're putting a small block in this thing. Or we're going to put a Tesla motor in it.
Yes, all electric. Fossil fuels.
All right, y'all. We're done for the night. Later.
Fossil fuels.